Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some more EVE Online. In today's video I'm taking you guys on a little bit of exploration. This is actually still before the expansion, main culprit. My real life job, it's like super busy there, and I'm not even sure if I'll be able to make a video about the launch of the expansion. It's just so busy. So what I'm doing at the moment when I'm looking to relax a little bit, of course a bit of exploration. This time I'm doing it in the king of the combat exploration ships, the Gila. Just showing you guys again how awesome the ship is. I just found a Sansha command relay, which potentially can be some good loot, and then we'll actually do a little bit of extra exploration just for newer players so that they get perhaps a bit of a better idea about the probe scanning and what it is that we actually do whenever we talk about these combat exploration sites, because you do of course find these with the probe scanner. I personally like to always go with the core probe launcher 2s and then since the core probe scanners, or scanner probes, sorry. You know, faction probes, they're decently expensive, but in total it's not that much. And then you have the core probe launcher 2, actually still really nice bonuses and not that expensive. So off we go. First room, as always, we start targeting some stuff, and hammerheads against the Sansha. What I like to do here, I think it's a 31 kilometer range. Just start targeting some of these frigates and use individual launchers on the individual frigates and destroyer hulls. There we go, first one down. Next one, let's keep targeting that, and you do want to keep an eye on your drones. Now once everything else gets blown up here, we'll go for the main target, Black Ops Squad Commander. So let's go, just blow that one up. There we go, engage, full missiles, and then you'll see why this ship is so awesome. That damage, once it starts to land, is just crazy. You know, in any other ship, it takes a lot more time, a lot more volleys. This actually has very strong resistance on its shields, and then once we get through that, you just blow that one away in absolutely no time. So that's pretty good. There is a tiny chance for a faction drop from this first frigate actually. Doesn't happen often, but from time to time I do get some faction drops, and if it's, you know, the odd non-resistance plating type of module, it can actually be worth quite a lot of ISK as well. So let's just keep going. Keep blowing everything up. A bit of shield damage on one of my drones, but it's not a problem. And I should really be using my Afterburner. Unfortunately, no loot here. So we just have one more to go. Let's blow him away. And then my drone somehow switched, which is not good, but we'll just finish. Bring everyone back, and that is the first room done already. Moving on to the next one, except for this one. All of them are reloading, so we'll just add that one to the pile. And then the second room, it's a bit more annoying because you land like 35 kilometers out, so it's not like you can go straight into targeting and blasting everything away. I also don't really like to send my drones out into the fray of all of those destroyers just like that, because if they get targeted first, it is a lot of damage. I think even the Gila drones might get in trouble there. So what we'll actually do is just start approaching a little bit, actually look for the target. It's the frigate, there we go, Overseer frigate, hostile. You can also target that one if you want to, and then once we are in range of all of these frigates, you can cut your afterburner and you can just start your missile spread. And then now in front of us we should see some nice fireworks as we try to, of course, again destroy all of these destroyers nicely and effectively. And yeah, you know, you can clearly see that they are doing like a bit more damage on my ship at this point. We'll just do that then, considering, but just look at how quickly I'm just wiping everything out. And that one is still at 70 kilometers, so we are going to speed up Everything else is down at the missiles, and this is the real loot pinata. Very high chance for faction drops here. Really doesn't always happen, of course. You get empty ones as well, but generally, look at how fast that was, man. That is the Gila for you. Really awesome. Just need a couple more frigates to go down. So there we go. And yeah, a faction piece. Unfortunately, it's only 700,000 ISK, so it's definitely not great. In the meantime, my drones are clearing the rest of the site, so I'm just going to do a reload all. And then we still have one cosmic signature to discover, so let's do that. And this is really for really new players. If you wonder how do you get into those sites, how do you find those sites, this is what you do. You launch your probes. I like to have 16 probes with me so that the reload happens automatically. And then you just start analyzing for the signatures. I will do just a little bit more of that as well. I always have a second screen where I have Dotlan open so that I can keep a track of where I am and where I need to go next. So we'll do that next. And that should be it for the fighting in the background. Yeah, the Gila, so strong. 88% shields left. You don't really need to worry at all about what's happening in the site at this point. You can just allow your drones to do their work. And yeah, there we go. We're ready. Drones are in. Fully loaded rapid light missile launchers. And let's see what the signature is. It's unfortunately a relic site, so that is nothing too good. From here we go to Nakatray, so we'll go over there, take a look at what's happening, and that is basically the exploration game. Hope for those awesome signatures that are usually, of course, combat sites that can get you a lot of ISK. So off we go. We'll keep going for just a little bit, see how long I want to keep going. But this is my EVE Online relaxing play style. The Abyss can be decently relaxing, but then you really are, in my opinion, limited to tier 1s and tier 2s if you don't want to worry at all about your ship, and the loot drops there aren't worth it. One lucky site here, 100, 200 million is definitely possible. It's far more of a grind in the Abyss, so this is still my preferred activity in EVE Online. Even despite the Abyss. We'll see, perhaps the PvP angle, of course, with the expansion might be interesting. Some nice strong Tech 1 fits that are designed to take on some of these Abyss runners like the passive Gila can be really cool, but I need some theory crafting and definitely need some PvP practice as well before I jump into that. So next system, look at that, 4 in local, quite a few signatures, so potentially that is looking pretty good. And then I also noticed that the 2 ones here at the center seem to be decently of a decent large circumference, especially, let's see, this one feels like it could be something good. So I'm actually going to focus on that. That is experience. The more you explore, the more quickly you're going to start to recognize that's like a small standard signature. That's not going to be anything good. Here we get something a little bit larger than average. That could be good if it ends up being a combat site. And so I'm going to focus on this one first. Try and grab that RKZ380 signature. After that, we'll just go through the others as well. So let's see, wormhole data site, that's unfortunate. Data sites, of course, also often a little bit trickier to... did something just spawn? Yeah, back there, that could be interesting. But this one is still rather large as well, and that's not too big of a signature apparently. So yeah, data sites, those can be the ones that are almost impossible to scan sometimes. Even this ship would not be able to do some of the hardest data sites here in HiSec. So let's do the next one. And yeah, this is the exploration part of combat exploration, of course. Look for signatures and try to find the good sites. So if we go on to the next one, we get relic, wormhole, data site. Not great, but still 3 signatures left to go. That's a combat site, so that might be more interesting, although I don't think so. Already at 41%. That might not be great. Yeah, Rogue Drone Asteroid. The one that we probably don't want to do. The chance for a faction drop there is just really, really low. So I generally don't try to do this. So we're just gonna skip on to the next one. APR next. Just as always, right, click on it, then try to center your probes around that as much as possible, and go down a little bit in scale, in circumference. I use Alt and then the mouse wheel in order to scale up and scale down. I find that to be really handy. And then that, I think, was the extra spawn, but you can clearly tell here it's going to be close to that planet or whatever it is, that gate here. And I think it looks too small to be anything good, to be honest. So in the meantime, I'm also going to start to head for Mendori. Let's do a warp within 0, because that'll be the next system. And it's a haunted yard. It's actually not bad. I just think that my cruiser can't get in there. Maybe we should... No, we're gonna skip it. Potentially there is some good rogue drone loot in there. That is used to build the mining drones from nullsec, but I generally actually skip the haunted yards, and I'm actually not sure if a cruiser can get in those sites like this. So off we go. Next system. Unfortunately here nothing too great. The refuges, if you're really on a dry spell, that is something that I tend to do. Somehow I think doing some anomalies switches things up a little bit, and I do in my experience find that if I do go for some of these anomalies, and then I prefer the refuges because potentially those escalate to 3 out of 10s, that creates more activity apparently in the signatures, and after that I usually stumble across a good signature decently quickly. I mean, it's no science there, it's probably just my gut feeling that is telling me that, and I may be completely wrong on it, but that's been my experience actually. If you find yourself in a really dry spell, for instance, if I would go through all of these systems and not find anything, even doing like 3 complete tours of the Devoid region here, then I know, yeah, maybe it's time to switch it up a little bit, do some anomalies, and then after that I sometimes end up finding more new signatures and some good signatures there as well. And so here we've got 3 of them. Local is at 7. That's a little bit more, of course. There is a station though, so who knows. That's a combat site. 30% unfortunately. Second circumference here, and quite down from my center, so I don't think it's gonna be a good signature, but we'll take a look, of course. That's what exploration is all about. Another rogue drone asteroid. That's not what we ordered. Let's go look for the next one up here. And then down here, that looks pretty large actually. That could be good. So, oh, and oh no, there he is. Yes, actually up here. There we go. Because we are looking for that one. There we go. That's what threw me off a little bit. I actually clicked on the combat sites. And so this is a data site. Yeah, no way that I can do that one. And then maybe also another trick that can help. It's not always right, but generally if you have a larger signature and then you can see a planet or belt and things like that within that range, there's a very high chance that the signature is going to be closer to that one. And as you can tell here, I'm basically saving myself 1 scan because of the gamble that I put my center very close to that celestial body. That usually does work out like here. So second one, I can see, a combat site, pretty big. Let's just hope that it's not a Sancha Watch. But this is decently promising. It is unfortunately a Sancha Watch, also one that that doesn't drop faction loot, and that's actually a hell of a lot of work to go through. So I should not have finished it because I'm not gonna run it. Anything new that pops in? Nope. So that's on to the next system, which is Enum. Let's move up. Don't remember to recall your probes, of course. For me, in order to avoid that, I always instinctively, as I warp, have one eye on my cargo bay. And since I have 2 missile types, I immediately see, okay, the reload is automatic, so I can go straight into probe launching on the next system. And I know right there, I've got the rest of my probes in the cargo bay, so we are good to go. If I'd forget, I would of course press Control Space to stop my ship, and then just do a recover active probes at that point after I get out of warp. So also pretty important, of course. These are 400,000 escapees. It's 8 of them. You don't want to lose those too often. Next system. Let's see what we get here. Not usually a great system in Oom, but only 3 in local and 3 signatures. So that actually could be okay. Again, same thing, of course. Launch your probes. Look for a pretty central position at first. That generally works. And that looks pretty big again. That's PIA, which could be close to that gate, if you ask me. But we'll see what the result will be. Yeah, there we go. Both of them are actually very close to that celestial body and that gate here. So makes a lot of sense to center around there straight away. And 2 relic sites. Man, that is not very lucky. And here again, I'm gonna try the same tactic. I'm now basically covering like a quarter only of the signature, but I'm gambling that it is somewhere close to all of this and to that planet especially. And yeah, this time I'm wrong. This time I'm wrong. That happens as well. So now we'll have to take a look at where it actually is. So then you of course want to cover the entire circle here. That happens as well. Man, I'm not even really spotting anything. That's weird. So my gamble would be a difficult wormhole on this one actually. Or one of those really annoying data sites, because this is 2% at this point. That is really bad. And so there is one variant of data sites that you're just not gonna complete. To be honest, since I am showing you guys my actual exploration routine here, at this point I'll do one more. I would even skip this one. I went down in circumference. This is my 3rd time and I'm still only at 5%. I'm like 99% sure it's one of those unscannable data signatures anyway. So maybe I'll quickly try to confirm that for you guys. But normally I would already have just recovered my probes and gone to the next system, which is going to be Lower Debel. Let's warp to it. Lower Debel, definitely a decent system. And there we go, data site as expected. And I can only go like this, so I'm never going to be able to fully scan that one down unless I get like a super specialized exploration ship. Yeah, if you notice that you're just not making any progress, skip it. You know it's gonna be one of these annoying sites. And you know, I could probably push in like the 80 percentiles, but that's really about it. Can I get the name? If I can get just a little bit more, I think I can get the name. Also something that you don't want to run in just any ship, by the way. God damn it, 74.8 and I need 75. So let's see if I can put myself like a little bit more centered here. This is just to show the newer players that signatures like this exist as well. And you get that feeling, right? 1%, 3%, 4.6%. It's a sleeper cache. Yeah, just not worth it. Just skip it. Move on to the next one. So let's go. Recover the probes. We're good to go. We'll do another system. We can do a couple more. Why the hell not? This is fun for me. This is something that I do enjoy in EVE Online when I don't feel like trying new stuff. So here we got a decent amount of signatures again, including some that look relatively large. 10 in local though, that is a decent amount as well. So we might have some competition on this one. And yeah, can't really say right from this that one of them has a higher chance, but we'll just keep going. In the end, you do get used to that probing, and It's just quite fun to do, actually. You never know what you're gonna encounter here, so let's do this one. This feels okay as well, right? Third one, it's not like we're in the 40-50 percentiles, which also gives you an indication that this is just too easy to scan. That's not going to be one of the harder combat sites or anything like that. This could be okay, so let's try. And then, of course, what you want to see is combat to show up all of a sudden. That's like, alright, the potential is there. So let's see what this is. This already feels decent. Relic is bad. Let's see what the next one is. Give me a combat site. That would be so awesome. And then a good drop, of course. Yeah, another relic site. It's gonna be one of those days, I think. And then the rest, oof, they are quite spread out down here. Not even sure. I think I'll just go like this to add the planet in view. I do suspect that we'll have to go up a little bit for these two signatures. So that's a combat site, but that felt a bit too easy to scan down to 37% then. It is away from everything. Man, that's so unusual. I would really have expected these to go back closer towards that planet. Ooh, and it's actually a mining colony. That is good. Of course, if someone else is running it, that's when you have to decide what you want to do, right? You want to be one of the potential bad guys and go start competing against them. People are generally not happy when you do that. Or do you want to be a good guy and you just leave the site to the person that found them first? I usually do that, or I tend to like split the drop. So I give them then the ISK for half the drop or something like that. On this one, I think if there's someone there, we'll try to go into competition. This this Gila is just too good for that, not to give that a go. Although for the second room, I need to do a bit of traveling, so my missiles don't hit out that far. I also am fully confident in this ship, so I'm also continuing to scan down the final signature as I warp to the gate, because I know even if I get into that room, not a problem. Speed is of the essence at this point, of course, and so is efficiency in exploration in general. But yeah, oh, that's actually a vigil. That's potentially not bad either. So let's go. Let's get started. Awesome system. Usually not such a good one, and that is not good positioning. That's a serious loss in efficiency, which you should not do at this point. 9 in local, 2 great sites. This is all about speed. And why the hell am I not warping off then? Oh, I'm still stuck on that bloody gate. Okay, let's try to head in that direction. So this really bad piloting on my part. Make sure that you get the hell away from that gate. And then we'll see what we can find. So that's this one normally. Let's go, go, go. And yeah, once you're not completely aligned, it's you know, starts to feel long. I should have been in that site ages ago. That's what it feels like. And we got it. We got it. There's no one here. So you might then start to wonder, is this like your average luck when it comes to exploration sites? Less than half an hour, 3 potentially good sites. I would say no on that. Usually does take a little bit longer. So next up here, of course, drones on the cruisers, and then missiles again staggered. I like to go like this on the frigates. Once those guys get blown up, start targeting some more. There we go. Goes down, goes down. Not a problem. Drones are working on the first cruiser. So next 4 frigates, down you go, cruiser targeted. Grab a second one so that you can just keep chaining this through without too much trouble. Like that. We can actually stop the Afterburner, I think, at this point. Ooh, that one died a bit more quickly than I thought he would. Like that. There we go, drones automatically choosing that cruiser. That's awesome. And look at that, 1 volley. Just completely gone. That's awesome. Forgot one of my... actually forgot one of my launchers there, so that's not so good. Making a bit of a mess of it, but you can tell, I think, just how strong the Gila is here. And of course you can also decide, alright, here we're gonna do 2 missiles. Blap, it's gone. You want to speed that one up, just send a volley of these there as well. Blap, you're gone. Drones on that cruiser. Some of these. Let's maybe add the missiles here as well. And one of my augmented hammerheads is taking some fire, but we're just clearing out these rats so quickly and so efficiently that, yeah, it's just crazy good. So next up, let's use our full missile spread on one of these cruisers as well. Should be in range. So there we go. Let's use the drones on the other one. We'll get that full reload. Okay, thank you. And he did rep back a little bit, but he'll die without any real problems there. And that is the real strength of this Gila. It can be just as relaxing in something like the auto jackdaw and things like that. But this, of course, if you're looking for that efficiency, it's pretty hard to beat this time on that first room. Second room, we'll rush for it. Then we'll see what we can do individual. Although I think I will take a stop in between, because shields individual, you want enough. You want enough shields individual. So let's get going. Second room. Hunt for that true Sancha. So you can spot that straight in the type category. That's very easy. So there she goes. Let's press approach. Get medium drones. Sending them out there. Speed things up a little bit so that we get in range for our missiles as well. There go my 2 hammerheads. Augmented hammerheads. And yeah, go, go, go. Need to get within 31 kilometers. Look at those hits. Half its shields gone just like that. All its shields gone. Then I can start loading up my missiles. If you feel more comfortable, start targeting some of those frigates as well. You can try to take some extra DPS, but look at how quickly that gets killed. It's not that quick or easy in the auto jackdaw, to be honest. It really isn't. And yeah, if you're worried at all about the DPS that's going to be incoming, or like now actually want to try to save some shields, because after this we're taking a trip into a vigil, then of course use what you've got and try to kill him. I think we'll land at the loot at this point. Unfortunately empty again. That is starting to be a bit less than what I'm used to. Next chance is gonna be the vigil. Another trick at this point, right? Let's maybe show that as well. Look at that. You do get some incoming DPS, of course, in this room, and you don't have the massive speed of getting in and out that the auto jackdaw, for instance, would have. So let's say that we do want our shields to be fully regened. Well, nothing easier. Let's just dock at a factory or a station. Shields will be full, and that's an awesome change that came a couple of years ago, of course. The system, the probe scanner, will actually remember your scans. So normally I can just dock up. Let's do that. I should also reload. Does that keep going? I wonder. Through the dock, I don't think so. A gate jump, yes, but a dock, I don't think so. Then you do have to wait for the timer here. Now let's press undock. That actually also loads up, right? It waits for the timer if you do that. Then we can undock. There we go, full shields, and look at that. That signature is still scanned, and now my reloading is actually still going. Ah, that is so awesome. Makes things a lot easier, very smooth. So off we go. It's time to take on that Vigil and see if that one gives me some loot. Normally, I would say on average it takes a bit longer to find 3 good combat sites than what you're seeing here. But normally also in at least one of those, you should get a somewhat decent faction drop as well. Maybe not 100 million or 200 million, but something that's in the tens, the 30, 40 million, right? An armor rep, something like that, should drop at that point. Vigil. What can drop here? You've got some really nice Sancha pieces, but of course also some awesome implants. So off we go. Sancha Vigil. Let's see if I'm first. 10 in local at this point. Oh, someone else is running it, but very inefficiently. Very, very inefficiently. What you actually want to do, even if there was no one here, is just go straight off for that one. Align yourself with the gate, and just ignore all of the spawns that come in here. You can just tell those to try again later. You blow all of that up. You recall your drones. Once they're in, you press warp and off you go. That's really individual, especially in something like the Gila that's strong enough. This is what you do in the first room. Goodbye everyone, we are good to go. You'll take 1 or 2 volleys from the missiles, but your shields can handle that no problem. Second room, you've got the stasis tower. That's your main focus. I think here what you don't want to do is to use your drones on that. Because those will then have to do a lot of traveling, and as you can see, a couple of volleys, that is gone. Just deploy them now, target those spider drones, and then look for the true Sancha again. There he is. Let's start approaching that one, and not sure if the drones are very good against those little drones here, but the missiles help to definitely clear those out. So we've got 3 of these. Let's go. That's the first one down. Yeah, let's actually use full missiles on the next one, and then I'm actually going to have my hammerheads clear out these 2 horrors. Again, maybe also something, if you're worried a little bit about the DPS, these destroyers do a decent amount, and as you can see here, die decently quickly as well, if your guys can get in range, of course. So blap, that one is down. Alright, let's call the drones a little bit closer to ourselves, through Sancha. And yeah, I'm not sure why the Loki took all of that time, but it's really not worth it to go after that first room. There's really nothing that drops there, in my opinion, of value. And here, that's the race you want to you wanna run. So there we go, through Sancha. Let's see if we get any loot. Full speed. Let's actually recall the hammerheads. And these loyal guys in these vigils, they're like elite ones. They have really strong resistances and things like that as well. It would take a lot of time to go through them, but you can just do this. Stop your afterburner as we're getting in range. And unfortunately, no loot again. That's very unfortunate that it's this empty. But 3 great chances at some nice loot in not a lot of time. That's why I love exploration in EVE Online. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Good luck out there, and I'll see you all next time.